KOAM News Now.
Right now at 5, authorities in Jasper County respond after an SUV crashes into a creek.
And we have an alert day today. Severe thunderstorms this afternoon, all hazards possible, and this is not our only potential day of severe weather this week. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, residents in Lamar, Missouri present a plan to the city council to save the Lamar Aquatic Center.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we have an alert day in place today.
Yes.
We have strong to severe thunderstorms on the way this afternoon. All hazards possible. Unfortunately, today is not the only day that we could potentially see severe weather this week.
Seem to not be able to get a break.
No, each time we've had thunderstorm chances, severe weather has been the thing that has accompanied them, and that's the case again today. Let's start with a look at our severe hazards over the next 3 days. So that includes today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Today we have an elevated to enhanced risk across a good portion of the area. Now tomorrow, severe threat's a little lower, a little more confined along and south of I-44, with the greater threat staying across parts of central Arkansas. However, Thursday it returns. We have a low to elevated risk across virtually the entire area again on Thursday. And as for today, all severe hazards are possible, but the greater concern is with large hail, the potential for very large hail, 2 inches in diameter or greater, and damaging wind gusts across the area as we head into the afternoon. 71 in Joplin right now, 71 in Pittsburgh. That should give you an indication as to what kind of instability we're already building here in the area. We're in the low 70s this morning, when ordinarily we should be into the upper 50s right now. And take a look at temperatures around the area. The cool spots off to the southeast, mid-upper 60s. Everyone else low, even close to mid-70s as we get the day underway. Timing on these storms looks to still be, as we were mentioning yesterday, between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m., and then we've got the thunderstorms tomorrow. We're going to get into all the details on that. Kids getting on the bus this morning, not bad. 71, sunny, windy, south winds gusting upwards of 25. And then outside of the storms, we're going to have to deal with gusty winds starting as early as 8, 9 this morning, pushing upwards of 40 miles an hour out of the south. And take a look at these temperatures. Kids come home 87 degrees, but that's when we're going to start to see these thunderstorms develop, and they're expected to develop very quickly. They're going to intensify quickly. It's what you'll sometimes hear as explosive development. It just means there are going to be several storms. They're going to fire up rather quickly. They're going to intensify quickly, and they're going to push off to the southeast. So here's the other side of this. We've also been talking about the possibility of 2 different rounds of severe weather. Some of the short-range data is still suggesting that between, say, 11, 11:30 and maybe 2, we could see some isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly into southeastern Kansas. If these happen, they could be strong to low-grade severe. It's a very low chance right now, but it's there, so we'll keep a close eye on that for you. Otherwise, we're partly cloudy. Clouds increasing by the afternoon. Storm chances increasing as we head through the afternoon and into the evening. Highs today, almost 90 degrees once again out there. We're going to break down this severe threat today. We're going to take a look at tomorrow's storms and see what else we've got coming up this week in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Authorities in Montgomery County, Kansas say a teenager who drowned over the weekend at Big Hill Lake had just graduated high school hours before. Authorities say 17-year-old Alonzo Juan drowned in the lake's swimming area Saturday afternoon, just hours after he received his diploma from Field Kindley High School. Juan's parents live in Guatemala. A GoFundMe has been established to return his body to them, and you can find a link on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Sam Butcher, the founder and creative force behind Precious Memories artwork, has died. The company shared the news yesterday through their Facebook page, saying in part, quote, "Although the sorrow is great, it is our prayer that the appreciation and celebration of his legacy be even greater," end quote. According to the Precious Moments website, Butcher began drawing at an early age. The public was first introduced to the Precious Moments artwork in 1975 on greeting cards and posters. The first figurines debuted in 1978, and the Precious Moments Chapel first opened its doors in 1989 in Carthage, Missouri. Sam Butcher was 85 years old. Authorities in Jasper County respond to reports of a car crashing into a creek. The call came in just before 8 yesterday morning. Troopers say a westbound driver on Baseline Boulevard overcorrected and drove off the left side of the road into the Slater Branch Creek, taking out a sign and slamming into a tree. The driver of the vehicle refused medical treatment, though was later taken to a local hospital with minor injuries. Crews battle a blaze on board a train engine early Sunday morning. The call came in just after 2:45 to Cherokee County authorities. Columbus Fire Rescue joined the effort, assisting rail staff to avoid the spread of fire to the rest of the unit. No injuries were reported. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The Carthage, Missouri City Council has set a date for an impeachment hearing for Mayor Dan Rife. City leaders will meet on June 5th at 4 p.m. to discuss the mayor's impeachment. Yesterday, they overrode the mayor's veto to set the hearing. This comes after a months-long dispute over efforts to remove City Administrator Greg Dagnan from office. Mayor Rife opposed the efforts by council members. Now, with the aid of outside legal counsel, the council members will attempt to prove Mayor Rife has not been doing his job properly.
Interaction with the hearing officer. He's going to be running the hearing essentially, and he might have some housekeeping matters. We might go and have opening statements, just like a trial, and then provide evidence, and the mayor gets to cross-examine and provide his own evidence, and then the council makes a decision.
The city has another special meeting scheduled for today at 7 p.m. You can find more information about past council meetings and the ongoing dispute on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. More than a month after the city of Lamar, Missouri began accepting bids for the removal of its aquatic center, some citizens have a plan to save it. The Save the Pool group presented their proposal to the city council. They say they found a contractor who looked at the center and came up with some ideas on how to restore and reopen it.
This month we have really worked hard. We have brought in a contractor who renovates and refurbishes pools and had him look at our assets that we have left there. And his first remarks is, he says, "Why do you want to bulldoze these assets?" He says, "There's a lot of money sitting here." So tonight what we want to do is present an alternative to what the city can look to.
The center has been closed for several years due to issues including leaks, low attendance, and staffing shortages. The next stop on the Great American Flag Swap 2024 takes place today at Jake's Fireworks in Pittsburgh at noon. People can bring in their old tattered flags to be replaced with brand new ones, courtesy of KOAM and Fox 14. The old flags will receive a proper disposal. The event always serves as a great way to give something to the community and to support veterans. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Carl Junction and Webb City baseball square off in the district championship. We'll have the details. Plus, King Charles and Queen Camilla touring the Chelsea Flower Show in London yesterday. And we're tracking severe thunderstorms for tonight. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Make plans to attend Fort Scott Good Old Days Friday and weekend event schedule. Visit FortScottGoodOldDays.com.
Well, Diamond High School softball has been one of the top teams in Class 2 all season. Now is the time to really prove that. The Wildcats are on one of the last 4 teams standing at the Missouri Softball Championship site in Springfield. All roads lead to this, the Class 2 Final Four in Springfield. 36-1 Diamond faces 24-6 Willow Springs. Wildcats score the first run of the game in the first inning as Lauren Turner drives in Caitlin Suri on an RBI single. Diamond trails 3-2, but not for long. In the 5th inning, Sarah Roselle smashes this one over the left fielder's head. 2 runs will end up scoring on that. Wildcats lead 4-3. They're far from finished. Caitlin Surrey skies one to left. That drops as well. It's now 7-3 Diamond. We're still in the 5th. Taylon Reeder is going to hit a line drive into left field. That keeps the line moving. Turner scores. It's a 9-3 lead. Wildcats keep bringing batters to the plate. Cabry Parmley gets the final RBI of a 10-run 5th inning. Diamond beats Willow Springs 13-3 in the Class 2 semifinals. The Wildcats will play in the state championship game this morning. Their opponent in the championship game is Kennett, who had nearly as good of a win in its semifinal yesterday afternoon. The Indians beat Lone Jack 11-4. They have a record of 25-8. Meanwhile, Diamond tries to finish the season without a loss to any Missouri teams. First pitch today is scheduled for 11 a.m. As the academic year concludes, so too does Carl Junction's time in the Central Ozark Conference. Beginning next year, the Bulldogs will play in the Ozark Mountain Conference. Last night, Bulldog baseball team has one last COC rivalry game. It's Webb City against Carl Junction in the Class 5 District 7 title game. Cardinals already up 2-0 in the 3rd. And then Andrew Young is going to hit a fly ball to center. It gets over the center fielder's head and rolls to the wall. He legs out a triple and would score later on a sac fly. Luke Beverland cruising on the mound for the Cardinals. This coming up here is one of his 4 strikeouts on the day. But in the final inning, Beverland runs into trouble. This single puts runners on second and first with the score 3-1. Webb City goes with a pitching change. In comes Brett Korth for Beverland. Needing 2 outs for the win, Korth gets a fly ball into center, caught out there, and the Cardinals double up the runner at second. And that ends it. Webb City wins the district championship for the 3rd year in a row. The Cardinals advance to the state quarterfinals.
I knew that he was going to get it done. I had 100% confidence in him. He's been our guy all year. He closes games, and that's just what he does.
I thought it was in the gap, but I looked back, saw Andrew behind it, so it was good. And I looked over, dude was running at third, so it was all going great.
Still to come, dental coverage for adults could be added to plans under the Affordable Care Act. Plus, got another check of that stormy forecast on this Alert Day Tuesday when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Greg Kelly, Vice President of Operations with Phoenix Home Care here. If you or a loved one need assistance in the home, reach out to Phoenix.
It's got the power of 8,000 Llama thrust. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. So Llama Thrust, by the way, is one of the funny answers from one of those Who Wants to Be a Millionaire shows, and it just is kind of funny when you think about that, where it was an option of how's this, what's used to measure power in cars, horsepower. It gave some other options. Llama Thrust, I think, is what we are missing out on in terms of measuring power of cars. Let's talk about our severe threat. And this is what we are looking at. So this is breaking down today's severe threat. We have a low to elevated tornado risk across the area. You can see the elevated off to the east here into the Missouri area, parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, a little bit of southeastern Kansas. And then as we look at the hail risk, hail is the bigger concern so far out of all of this. We have the elevated to enhanced risk for large hail across a broader area. And then we have these hash marks that encompass nearly the entire area as well. And that's for the possibility of very large hail, 2 inches in diameter or greater. And then we have a low to elevated wind risk. So here's what the expectation is with those thunderstorms was that in terms of their development. We're going to get to that in a moment. I also want to remind you of everything else going on tomorrow. A little less severe threat, but nonetheless a low to elevated severe risk, mainly along and south of I-44. And then we all get back in on the action Thursday, and this looks to be Thursday evening into the late night hours across the area as well, with more strong to severe thunderstorms. I want to pause this at noon. This is what we're talking about. Some of the short-term model data is suggesting at least the remote possibility we could see some showers and thunderstorms, isolated ones, develop this afternoon, late morning, say after 11:30, and about noon. If this happens, then these storms will be in an environment where they could be strong to low-grade severe. So we'll keep an eye on that. The probability of seeing any storms prior to about 3 o'clock is very low, but it's not zero, so it is something we'll monitor out there. The better storm chances, again, come about 2, 3 o'clock as we have this advancing cold front out there, and we start to see showers and thunderstorms develop along that front. They're going to develop very quickly, and they're going to intensify very quickly. The tornado and very large hail threat comes in, especially in the beginning, where some of these storms could be supercellular in nature before they congeal into this line. So here we are just 2 hours later, we've got a line of strong to severe thunderstorms draped across the area. And even though this is a cold front rolling through, look back behind. Not significant changes in the temperatures. This is not a very strong cold front temperature-wise, but it will bring that severe threat. By 7, that line of storms now pushing off to our south and to the east across the area. So east of I-49 and along and south of I-44, still dealing, though, with severe weather with these storms. We have to watch these very closely, and that's why we have our alert day today. By 10 o'clock, the last of these should be on their way out of here, and we'll actually start to clear out overnight and go mostly clear until about 4 a.m. And here we are stopping at 5. When we come on the air tomorrow morning, more showers out there initially, and then we'll start to see thunderstorm development take place between 5 and 7 tomorrow morning. And some of these storms, as we showed you, especially along and south of I-44, could be strong to severe. So this is one of those oddities where the better chances for strong to severe thunderstorms will be in the morning instead of in the afternoon. So we'll have to keep an eye on those storms as they roll through, and then we'll be left with scattered showers and storms throughout the majority of our Wednesday, the first half of the day, and then by Wednesday afternoon, those will clear on out of here. And as we head into Thursday, another round of strong to severe thunderstorms. Quick look outside, 71 in Joplin, clear skies, dew points up there, humidity up there, 63 and 75%. And again, aside for a few of our communities here in the southeastern portion of our area in the mid to upper 60s, the rest of us low, even mid 70s out there this morning. So a lot to keep an eye on, and I just hit the wrong button. But we'll talk about that 7-day forecast, and let me reload that. I do apologize. Hello. Every so often, it's Monday on a Tuesday, and you hit the wrong button, and the next thing you know, we're looking at some of that. There we go. There's that extended forecast for you. So again, alert day today, upper 80s, a little cooler tomorrow too. That's why the severe threat's a little more confined as we're back in the low 70s. We start warming up. Thunderstorm chances continue into the weekend as well, at least through Saturday, and there's still that possibility Friday and Saturday we could see some stronger storms out there as well. And then we'll have a few showers next Tuesday and hopefully get a break from all this strong to severe thunderstorm activity by the middle of next week. And that's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.
Best quality meat you can buy.
Topping Health Watch this morning, dental coverage for adults could be added to plans under the Affordable Care Act in the future. Last month, the Biden administration finalized a rule that would give states the option to add adult dental coverage to Affordable Care Act plans. Under Biden's rule, states have until 2025 to decide if they will require that insurers cover dental benefits for adults. The dental benefits would not take effect until 2027. So far, no states have signaled that they intend to require dental benefits under the ACA plans. On Friday, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders introduced a Dental Care Reform Act that would expand coverage through Medicare, Medicaid, and the VA. From television and internet, video games, and devices, media is everywhere, and it can have a significant impact on a child's health and well-being. Since summer is when many children have more spare time and potentially more screen time, experts say to lay down rules now. Mandy Gaither has more on the 5 C's of media use.
In the age of technology, it can be hard to know how much is too much time spent in front of a screen.
Each of our children are different. We love them all the same, but they're all different.
The CDC says excessive time spent on screens has been linked to things like weight gain, physical inactivity, reduced sleep quality, poor body image, poor nutrition, depression, and anxiety. That's why setting screen time limits now is important, and how parents do it is also critical, says Chris Ivany with the Family Care Center.
That's what really develops the relationship, between especially teenagers and their parents, is how they engage on things like screen time.
Ivany says the 5 C's of media use can help. The first C is for child. Since parents know their children, think about how media affects them, what they're attracted to. Next, content. Learn about what your child is watching, what games they're playing. Third, calm. What are other ways to calm brains and bodies down instead of media? Fourth, crowding out. If media use is stopping your child from things like family quality time, sleep, or time outdoors, think of ways to get that time back. Finally, communication. Talk about media early and often.
The best way to look at the 5 C's is that it's a framework, for parents to think about screen time and their particular child.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The American Academy of Pediatrics also has the 5 C's broken out into age groups for parents. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got a calm start to the day right now, but we do have an alert day for strong to severe thunderstorms later today. The latest on that forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, drivers in Crawford County can expect increased police presence for the holiday weekend.
And we have an alert day today. Severe thunderstorms by this afternoon, all hazards possible. We're going to break it down for you coming up.
Plus, the Joplin Public Library celebrates the return of some familiar faces.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we've got an alert day today. We have that possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms out there. Unfortunately, starting as early as about 3 o'clock and running through about 10 this evening. So let's start with a look at the hazards that we've got, not just today, but over the next couple of days as well. So we've got an elevated to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms today. Tomorrow, the threat a little lower, a little more confined. So we've got a low to elevated risk along and south of I-44, and then we all get back in on the action Thursday. This looks to be Thursday evening into the late night hours. We have a low to elevated risk for more severe weather, and we still have the possibility for additional strong storms as we head into Friday and Saturday across the area as well. So a lot to keep an eye on. Getting you out the door this morning, 71 in Joplin and Pittsburgh. So very warm for this time of year, very warm for this time of day right now as well. We've got some of our southeastern communities, so Anderson, Neosho, Monette, Cassville, mid upper 60s. Everybody else in the low, even almost mid 70s this morning. And bear in mind, our average highs are in the upper 70s. That's how much above average we are right now. Kids getting on the bus this morning looking pretty good. Sunny, 71, south breeze gusting to 25. Now, outside of any thunderstorms we see, that south wind will start gusting as early as 8 o'clock this morning, upwards of 40 miles an hour. So you do need to be aware of that if you're traveling on any east-west roadways. We're going to have that south breeze gusting up to 40. Highs today, very warm. 87 when the bus brings them home. 3 o'clock, again, the expected point of development of these strong to severe thunderstorms. However, and we're going to go over all this in more detail in the full forecast in a few minutes, we're throwing up the isolated shower chance at about noon. Some of the short-range data suggests that around 11 or 11:30, especially in the southeastern Kansas, we could see a few scattered, isolated showers, maybe a thunderstorm. If we do, those could be strong to low-grade severe. The odds of that happening are very low, but it is showing up. It is something we're going to have to keep a close eye on. Again, the more organized thunderstorms start about 3 o'clock in southeastern Kansas along a frontal boundary and will slide southeast through the area as we head through the evening and late night hours. And again, highs today, once again, well above average, upper 80s. Again, we're going to break down all the details on this severe threat, take a look at tomorrow's storms as well in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office announced a traffic enforcement campaign for Memorial Day. More deputies will be patrolling highways and secondary roads this weekend. That's thanks to the Special Traffic Enforcement Program grant. Officers involved with the seasonal campaign can track their overtime hours in contact with the public to receive extra overtime in return. According to the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, patrolling deputies are keeping an eye out for drivers traveling at unsafe speeds, impaired, and other traffic infractions.
The campaigns are good. They get people that are on the street to travel safely to and from where they're going, and the other motorists around them safe. It's good to have a law enforcement presence, and the statistics show that due to media and social media that people are aware of the increased patrol and people are following the traffic laws. So I believe that enforcement helps keep the roadway safer.
The campaign will continue till June 2nd. Well, a natural gas company plants a big donation in support of a garden started in the memory of a beloved Carl Junction teacher. Mindy Doyle worked as a paraprofessional in the special education department at Carl Junction for 13 years before losing her battle with cancer. Mindy's garden was built last year in her memory. Yesterday, Southern Star Central Gas Pipeline donated 100 plants to be planted in the garden. They also brought in a large group of people to plant and shape the garden.
It means a lot because, a lot of people may not recognize our name on the side of our truck, throughout town, but we can come out and do a service like this for the community. It gives back not only for the company, but for the people that work for us. We live and serve this community through Southern Star.
In April, Mindy was awarded the Carl Junction Support Staff of the Year for the 2022-2023 calendar year. Community members are celebrating the arrival of a beloved statue at the Joplin Public Library. Nearly 1 year ago, the full bronze statue called Two Kids on a Bench was stolen from outside the library. Although the suspect in the theft was identified by Joplin police and is awaiting trial, the statue was never found. A replacement statue was officially taken in its place thanks to donations from community members in the Kiwanis Club of Joplin who donated the original.
It's very exciting to have the bench back. I know when it was getting installed last week by Parks and Rec, there were people who were walking up and the pure joy on their face was just so wonderful, and I'm thrilled to have it back.
Thanks to the community of putting this statue back.
The Kiwanis Club of Joplin is also donating insurance to help protect the new replacement statue. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The body of the Iranian president has been recovered at the site where the helicopter they were riding in crashed. Plus, the chief prosecutor in the ICC is seeking arrest warrants for Israeli and Hamas leaders. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, King Charles and Queen Camilla touring the Chelsea Flower Show in London yesterday. The royal couple chatted with other guests and with garden designers at the event at the Royal Hospital, Chelsea. Wicker statues of Camilla's Jack Russell Terrier dogs, Bluebell and Beth, were among those on display. Charles and Camilla are both avid gardeners. The bodies of the Iranian president, the country's foreign minister, and other Iranian officials have been recovered at the site where the helicopter they were riding in crashed on Sunday. Rescuers searched for hours in rugged mountainous terrain to locate the chopper that went down in the country's northwest section. Footage released by the Islamic Republic news agency shows that it described as the crash site in a valley surrounded by steep mountains. There's been no immediate word on what caused the crash, but the area where the aircraft was flying was very foggy at the time. The chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court says he is seeking arrest warrants for Israeli and Hamas leaders over their actions during their 7th-month war. He says he believes Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his defense minister, along with 3 Hamas officials, are responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity. The U.S. is rejecting the claims. State Department correspondent Jillian Turner reports.
We reject the ICC's application for arrest warrants against Israeli leaders. Contrary to allegations against Israel made by the International Court of Justice, what's happening is not genocide. We reject that.
The Biden administration says the International Criminal Court has no authority to request arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Foreign Minister Yoav Gallant, or Hamas leaders. President Biden insisting there is no equivalence, none, between Israel and Hamas. But the ICC prosecutor says both sides have committed grave atrocities during the 7-month war in Gaza.
The crimes include starvation of civilians as a method of warfare, willfully causing great suffering, willful killing or murder, and intentionally directing attacks against a civilian population, as well as crimes against humanity of extermination.
The State Department and Israel are indicating the ICC's handling of this case underscores a deep bias against Israel.
The prosecutor was scheduled to go to Israel, and his staff was scheduled to go there today. We were puzzled to understand why he would yank those trips and go on television to make an announcement, something that also is very strange.
The prosecutor's absurd charges against me and Israel's defense minister are merely an attempt to deny Israel the basic right of self-defense. And I assure you of one thing, this attempt will utterly fail.
Human rights lawyer Amal Clooney, who advised the ICC on this case, insists, quote, despite our diverse personal backgrounds, our legal findings are unanimous. Clooney will host a fundraiser for President Biden next month. As for the ICC, neither the United States nor Israel is a party to the court, meaning when those arrest warrants are issued over the coming weeks, Israeli officials will still have freedom to travel into and out of the United States as they please.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:45 now on this Tuesday morning, and we do have an alert day today, and this is why. This is a look at our severe risks for this afternoon and evening. We have a low to elevated tornado threat across the area. We have an elevated to enhanced risk for hail across the area, and this hash marks here across a good portion of the region as well, indicating the possibility of very large hails. We're talking 2 inches in diameter or greater in the enhanced area where the better chances of hail in general will be. And we have a low to elevated wind risk across the area as well, heading into this afternoon and this evening. So we have that elevated to enhanced thunderstorm risk or severe thunderstorm risk today. Tomorrow, we still have a severe threat. It's much more confined. It's a bit lower. It's low to elevated and mainly along and to the south of the I-44 corridor. And we're not done yet. Thursday, we see the severe threat return to a broader portion, low to elevated risk across the majority of the area as we head into Thursday. Thursday storms look to be here Thursday evening into the late night hours. So again, several rounds of strong to potentially severe thunderstorms across the areas. Severe weather season continues. Now, we talked about this earlier. I want to kind of break this down for you because this is a big if. It's been discussed over the last several days that we could potentially see 2 rounds of strong to severe thunderstorms today. Some of the future track data suggests that that may still be possible. I believe the overall probabilities of anything severe prior to 3 p.m. are very low. But again, there's that remote possibility that by about 11:30, and here we are stopping at noon, we could see a few isolated showers or thunderstorms develop in parts of southeast Kansas. If we do, those storms could become strong to low-grade severe. So we're going to have to keep an eye on them. Again, I think the probabilities are very low of this happening, but it's not zero, and it is something we'll monitor. The better chances for more organized, more widespread severe weather will come as we head, again, about 2-3 o'clock this afternoon. We have a cold front coming in. We're going to see scattered showers and thunderstorms thunderstorms begin to develop across parts of southeastern Kansas. And there you can see that wind shift line. When these storms initially develop, they're going to be discrete. They're very likely going to be supercellular. That's why we do have all severe hazards possible. They are going to be what you'll sometimes hear referred to as explosive development. They're going to develop very quickly. They're going to intensify very quickly, and they're going to organize very quickly into a line of strong to severe thunderstorms that will slide off to the south and east as that front pushes through the area. Temperature-wise, that front does not have a huge impact on our temperatures, but it will bring us those strong to severe thunderstorms as we head through the evening. So here we are paused at 5 o'clock, right in the middle of the evening commute on some of the busiest highways in the area, 69, 49, 44, dealing with strong to severe thunderstorms out there. By 7, we continue to see them push off to the southeast. They may even intensify a little bit as they slide off to the south and east. So we'll see the threat for severe weather continue. And then by about 10, the last of these should be out of here, and we'll see a brief pause before very early tomorrow morning. Here comes that next round. Now, tomorrow's one of those odd days where the better chances for strong to severe thunderstorms is in the first half of the day instead of in the afternoon. So by 5 a.m., by the time we go on the air, here are a few scattered showers. Then we'll see by between 5 and 7, thunderstorm development take place across the area. These thunderstorms will lift off to the east and northeast. And some of these, again, especially along and south of I-44, could be strong, possibly severe. By 10 a.m., more scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. These continue till about noon. More thunderstorms and some strong storms will still be possible out there. And then by about 3 tomorrow afternoon, that's when the last of this activity will begin to roll out of here. So a lot to keep an eye on today, tomorrow, and then we've got to watch Thursday as well. Highs today, again, well above average. Upper 80s pushing near 90. We'll have the thunderstorms, and I also want to mention outside of the thunderstorm chances, we're going to have south winds picking up here in the next hour or two, blowing as hard as 40 miles an hour. So if you're traveling on any east-west roadways, keep that in mind that outside of the thunderstorms, we're going to be dealing with very gusty south winds. Scattered storms tomorrow, cooler, mid-70s, a little below average. Then we'll warm back up again heading into the weekend. We've got strong, potentially severe thunderstorms on Thursday. Could still see some strong storms Friday and Saturday, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see thunderstorms pause Sunday and Monday. Few showers Tuesday, clearing out by the middle of next week. But a lot to watch over the next 72 hours or so. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
A Virginia father is proving nothing is impossible if you put your mind to it. Though deaf, Michael Krisowitz is playing a prominent role, the prince, in a community theater performance of My Fair Lady. Accompanied by his wife and son, the family is showing teamwork and hard work equals success. Shelby Martin takes us to the stage and brings us this heartwarming story.
Michael Krisowitz has a featured role, playing the prince in the Shannon Arts production of My Fair Lady. He's also completely deaf.
I feel like in the beginning it was hard, but now the play this weekend, I'm ready. I feel good. I just want to get going.
Krisowitz stars alongside his wife Sierra and his 11-year-old son Elijah. The actor says he hasn't done a production since he was 13, but that didn't stop him from joining his family on stage.
When I saw on Facebook that they had auditions for My Fair Lady, I thought, well, let me let my son know about the play. And I wasn't sure it might be risky to be a stage play, but I wanted to do it for my son so that he can have that experience too.
Elijah says his father inspires him and taught him everything he knows about acting. The 6th grader hopes to be a screen actor one day.
It kind of taught me to know that I could do anything. If he could do it, being deaf and being on a stage, if I think I can't do that, that's crazy, because if he can, then anybody can.
And if you ask Sierra, chances are she'll tell you something similar.
I'm super proud of him. I think it's so cool how, ambitious he is. He knows that he could do anything, and I love that about him. He inspires me a lot.
Being deaf does provide some challenges, especially when learning to dance to music.
I can't feel the music through the floor. I'm completely deaf. So if I can do this and memorize the parts with a pattern. If I can do it, then you can too.
And Chrisowitz's castmates are in awe of his dancing abilities.
It's not fair. The man can't hear the music, and yet his rhythm is impeccable, and he remembers all of the steps, sometimes a lot better than we do.
The family says performing has brought them closer together.
Last weekend was the last day of the performance. We'll be right back.
From remembrance and gratitude for those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
A graffiti artist in Los Angeles takes his artwork to a daring new level. Benjamin Schneider tightrope walked between two buildings in Los Angeles after trespassing on the premise by breaching metal fences. The performance artist used a drone to string a line between the buildings 40 stories up. Schneider says the Life or Death Act also had a symbolic meaning. Schneider says he has yet to be charged for sneaking into the building. The group of people who gathered in a central Texas city tried but were not able to break a world record Saturday. They were trying to break the record for the largest group of people with the same name in the same place. The would-be record setters were all named Kyle, and they gathered in the city of Kyle, Texas at Kyle Fair. Participants in the attempt to break the record had to give the proof of their names are Kyle, and Kyle had to be the person's first name. The official count was 750, not even close to the world record of almost 2,300 people named Ivan, who gathered in the town of Bosnia in 2017.
Got to aim for a much more common first name, I suppose, in order to try and break that record. That's going to be a tough one. Well, we've got an alert day today for strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. Through the morning, breezy. South winds gusting upwards of 40 miles an hour. A few clouds here and there, and will be about 81 by 11 o'clock this morning. As mentioned, keeping an eye on the possibility of a stray shower or storm between, say, 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. out there in southeast Kansas. It's a low possibility, but we'll keep an eye on that. The organized thunderstorms begin about 3 o'clock out in southeast Kansas along a frontal boundary, and they'll become strong to severe rather quickly. Highs today into the upper 80s, so well above average. Showers and storms continue through the evening. They'll wrap up at about 10 o'clock tonight, and then we'll see additional storms as we head into very early tomorrow morning. Back down in the low 60s. We'll be in the mid 70s tomorrow. Some strong to severe thunderstorms possible tomorrow and Thursday. More storms Friday, Saturday. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.